Nice, staying busy is very good. In Krishna consciousness, that's what our Acharya says. You should be very busy so that mind does not get time to think about mundane thing. This is
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Don't
Hare
pronounce.
Krishna Dandot Prabhu. How are you, Satyanarayana Prabhu?
Not doing good, Prabhuji.
Are you seeing that screen?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can.
Okay, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudire Nashtaprayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya भागवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवती नष्ट की हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कंचना गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये. So when we give the Bhagavatam class, first we sing the prayers that is for the Bhagavatam or for Krishna. Okay, and then we switch. So the switch can happen at the end. So in the beginning, you can read up to where I read, and then you can go and read the purport, verse, everything else, and then at the end, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasade Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Ram Sankirtan ki jai Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. So we don't mix the order. Like we start Krishna, then Guru, then Krishna like that. We don't do like that. Okay. We first and every time when we talk from Bhagavatam, the first thing that should come out from your mouth, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya three times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's the standard. So a trained devotee should follow the standard. So since you all are doing Bhakti Vaibhav, your classes should be following the format that is given by our Acharya. Now don't ask me why this format. That's how Prabhupada did. That's how our Acharyas have done. So we start with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You never skip that. I see people, they just start talking. They read the verse and start talking. Sometimes they don't even read the verse, not read the purport. It's very important that first, we do Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya three times, then Krishna's Pranam. Then after that, you read the verse three times. As a speaker, you read the verse three times in a nice tone. Give the tone that people can follow, and then let other sing the verse. And then after that, Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितः येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालां पङ्गुं लङ्घते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले. We are seeking the blessings of all the gurus and acharya so that they can help us express whatever realization we have. That's And then when we talk to the devotee, we don't talk lecture. We don't give lecture like the professor comes and then start giving a lot of big lecture. That's not our perfection. When we are preaching, so we have to understand who we are talking to devotee or talking to outsider, need interest and concern. And I see very important that we craft our presentation based upon who my audience is, what I should be talking to them. Okay, it's not that anything can be spoken anywhere. Don't do like that. Okay, so when we are talking to devotee, we don't be too theoretical. We have to know how far I can go, what is extent of my realization in Krishna consciousness. Okay, and then you say things which are coming from your heart. coming from your soul. That's your realization. Okay. Theoretically, I don't want to too much talking with the devotee, especially for the Bhagavatam. We are dealing with devotee. So we talk our realization. And that realization is very important. Prabhupada's pastime, some story from Chaitanya Charitamrita, some story from Srimad Bhagavatam, which are very realized story. If devotee will hear that, that will purify their heart. You might feel like that I did not do good job, but you did excellent job because it's going to touch their heart. It will make transformation. Okay, so it's very very important that we don't be too theoretical. Rather, we share our realization. When we are giving Sunday class, yeah, there you can be. There are people who do not know the terms of Krishna consciousness, so there you can be a little bit, out of realization. You can say certain thing to attract people. If you completely go out of temple and preaching in the university and college, you don't have to act like a devotee. You talk in their language. When I go there, I say that I'm PhD. I do job this and that, and then they can connect, they can hear, and then you say why you are doing, why you think that Krishna consciousness is important for us. You know, so there is a way you can uh, connect with people. One day I went to Tirupati, 5 set of Bhagavad Gita I sold right away because I would never reach people saying that buy the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna, how are you? What do you do? I'm IT professional. Okay, very good. What you were doing? C++ programming. I'll talk about that programming. And then a little bit I'll introduce. And I'm from Wisconsin, St. Louis, I'm this and that. Why don't you read this? Oh, is it good book? Yeah, they'll buy it. So everything has a trick and, a style of doing. So that's, my request is that when you are giving classes, uh, please know who is our audience and what should I talk? What should I talk? How should I talk? And don't, be skewed. Rather, be very harmonized depending on the type of audience that we are dealing with. That's why Prabhupada made this movement so huge, because he knew what we have to talk. Anyway, so we are going to start third canto today. And I will just give you the summary, what is in the third canto. And then after that, we'll have some discussions. I would like to hear what and how I should do this class, what changes should I do so that you can understand everything. So third canto is titled as the status quo. And this canto has 33 chapters. And these 33 chapters prominently, prominently, although there are some other element, talks about Sharga, a little bit Visharga, and then some element of what devotee should do, devotion, yoga. When Kapil Dev is talking to Mother Devavati is asking so many questions, and Kapil Dev is answering those one after another. So it has multiple elements. Atha sarga visarga cha sthanam poshnam utte manmantraishanu katha anirodh ocean and asraya. These are the uh, topics of Bhagavatam. So third and fourth canto talks about sarga and visarga. So the first few chapter talks how Vidura and Maitreya meet. So that's what we are going to start with. But I would like to give you a nice summary. So first fourth chapter talking about how Vidur and Maitreya met. So when Battle of Kurukshetra started, Vidur Maharaj, being the pure devotee of Supreme Lord, he didn't participate in it. He left. Duryodhana insulted him and Vidur left. So third canto starts from his journey. When he left Hastinapur, he went to Uddhava, who is very close associates of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's asking about Krishna, and he's asking that please instruct me on the science of Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. Then Vidura said that you are superior to me. I would request you to go and talk to Maitreya Muni. He just not very far from here. Please go and see him and ask him the questions that you have. So Vidura went and talked to Maitreya Muni. And this Sambad discussion between Uddhava and Maitreya is extremely profound. So we'll talk about that. And then from chapter 5 to 11, there are some elements of discussion that talks about Sharga and Visarga, which is still the communication between those great personalities. So Sarga is a primary element which were created by Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Visarga is secondary element, creation of the universe by Lord Brahma, living beings, forms, the feature. So first 11 chapter, more or less, is talking about Sarga, Visarga, and meeting of Vidura with Maitreya Muni. And then there are one or two chapters very quickly talking about appearance of Manu and Shambhu Manu and all of Manu related context and how in which Manmantra Lord Brahdev incarnated. So one or two chapter is given to set the baseline, foundational baseline, so that transition could happen to talk about pastime of Lord Brah. So third canto has this beautiful uh, pastime. And then we'll hear about Diti and Kashyap and how from there Lord Brahade was planning to appear. So that introduction is given up to chapter number 19. And then later part of this chapter prominently talks about teaching of Lord Kapila to Mother Devavati. So who is Lord Kapila? All of that is given in previous chapter 21, 22, 23, 24. The chapters are talking about who the Kapil Dev is. So there is a discussion of Kardama and then Devavati and all of that coming into the place. So this final chapter 25 to 33 is also called Sankhya Yoga. Original Sankhya philosophy that was given by Lord Kapila, original Kapila to Mother Devavati. And there it's beautiful summary of Bhagavad Gita. That's how I see it. So Mother Devavati is asking questions about what is Karma Kandi people, what is their destination, who are Karma Yogi, what are their destination, who are this Jnani and Astang Yogi, what are their destination, and what one should do, and in Bhakti, how one should do Bhakti. So entire, Bhagavad Gita, and some part of Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu also have been discussed between Mother Devavati and Lord Kapila. Beautiful, beautiful discussion. So that's how third canto concludes. So this is how we see that context of third canto. And let's get into the next slide. There was some noise, so I would like somebody to read this one. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. Can you read this one? I just put it here for all of you to understand.
Yeah. In the can I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yes, Mataji, please.
In the 33 chapters of the third canto, Sarga, the creation of the totality of matter with elements manifesting from Prakriti by the glance of Vishnu, is described 1. Having already shown that the Bhagavatam was first revealed by the Lord to Brahma and Narada, it is again shown that it was also revealed by Sesha to the Kumaras. The conversation between Vidura and Uddhava continues for 4 chapters. 8 chapters deal with Sarga and Visarga. 7 chapters describes the pastimes of Varaga. One chapter describes Visarga in summary, and 4 chapters describe Kapila. 9 chapters describe his teachings. This completes the third canto. In the first chapter, Vidura, after leaving his elder brother, goes on pilgrimage. There he meets Uddhava and asks him questions, even though Uddhava was unsteady in hearing due to separation from the Lord. Uddhava had already answered 2 or 3 of the questions asked by Parikshit in the 8th chapter of the second canto. Shukadeva, considering that the questions of Parikshit were previously asked by Vidura to Maitreya, decided to answer Parikshit's question by first describing the introduction which gave rise to their conversation. Ridhimat means full of wealth.
I don't know. This one I have to remove. So this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary, and he tells the short. He shares short description of third canto. So third canto has 33 chapter, and then what are the discussions we have in those chapter, and that's how these 2 slides are based on. In fact, these 2 slides are talking the same same topic, same description as it's given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Okay, so this is the summary of third canto. Anybody has anything before we move to the actual discussion? Okay, so here is the thing. We have to get into first chapter, question by Vidura. 2 cantos we have finished. Again, this is not the course that is open to everybody, but if I do show, it might become a very, bigger forum. I can personally reach out to many people and request them to join, but my intent is to keep it to the devotees who are interested to Bhakti Vaibhav. The pace that I have taken, I'm not really, even if Bhakti Sastri course that I do, Satyanarayana Prabhu is part of that course. Many of you are part of the course. I don't really rush to finish. Finishing is a different. Like for example, if I can just very quickly give you these 2 3 slides, give you the summary, and I'm done. But that's not the intent. If you do like that, you really not learn much. The essence is in the verses, reading the verse, by hearing those verses, those words, very profound, very powerful, will make changes. I don't know however way I'm presenting. That's one aspect of it. But you yourself read, those verses, hear those verses. Sratam Sakatha Krishna Punna Saranam Kirtanam. Hriday Granthi, whatever is there is Grantha in the Hriday. That Grantha is going to be completely chindati. It's going to be completely, you know, cut into pieces. So it's very, very important that we release the discussion and then slowly and slowly move on. Devotees who are doing, I have also done the Bhakti Sastri, and I did not really learn much, although I had the certificate and everything else. I didn't learn so many basic concepts of why certain things are said in a specific way. So Bhakti Sastri or Bhakti Vaibhav, when we are doing it, intent is to learn, intent is to understand what is exactly happening, what is the content, and same content. So Bhagavatam, one of the thing that Bhagavatam does is it repeats. The theme is very repetitive. You know, similar theme will come again and again and again and again. Like Maitreya and Vidura, they will talk about devotional service in different contexts, but ultimately they will lead to the point where they will come to the conclusion that bhakti is the most topmost. Kapila and Mother Devavati, they will talk. So many communications will happen, conversation will happen. Finally, they will conclude that bhakti is topmost. Hear the pastime of Dhru Maharaj. You will hear the pastime of Gajendra. And hear the past of entire creation, fifth canto, Asthanam. Ultimately, it will leads to pure devotional service. Because Bhagavatam talks about Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti and Shuddha Bhakti. It mostly talks about uh, Pradhan, prominent devotional service or unalloyed devotional service. There is no mixture to it. So that's what Bhagavatam presents in different format, in different story, in different context. It talks about uh, supremacy of Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotional service. So that's how it is. It's very repetitive, but each story, each narration that will come to us will be very attractive. We get into it, we emotionally connect with it. It makes sense to us. So before I start studying the first chapter, do you have any suggestions, anything that anybody would like to do to change the format since we are in the beginning of this canto? I'll pause until you say something. Yes, so this is okay, this is fine, or whatever input you have, I'll not mind, okay?
This is good, Prabhuji. The phase we are going.
Yes, Prabhuji. I think it's a slow, but I'm trying to now connecting slowly. Um, I have to start reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. I have not started. I am just following your classes for last couple of classes, but I think I need to start reading as well. So, but looks, I mean, I feel I'm connecting now, Prabhuji.
So you have Bhagavatam at your house, Prabhuji?
I do have Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So uh, read it, read nicely, read nicely, and if you read Prabhuji, that would help you a lot. Hearing is definitely very helpful, but reading is very helpful.
Yeah, Prabhuji. I'll start. Yeah.
And you have missed nothing. You're in the beginning. It's like circle. Anywhere you start Bhagavatam, they say that anywhere you bite, it's full with juice. So you haven't missed much. So nothing to worry. What did you say, Brinda Mataji? What did you say?
I
You're
think this is,
fine.
yeah, this is good, Prabhuji. The phase is also good. We are able to learn.
Yeah, we know when we started this batch, we had so many students, and slowly And this is nothing surprising to me. You know, you'd see that in the Bhakti Sastri. When I started Bhakti Sastri, we had 20 students. Everybody in Dallas signed up, and 3 or 4 of us finally got the certificate. But that time it was still in the very beginning stage. Bhakti Sastri was not. We were doing from India and timing and everything else, doing the homework. But somehow or other we did it. Same thing with Bhakti Web also. I did in India and all of that. But now we are trying to bring it, to each center so that devotee can release even Bhagavatam. So these opportunities are just mercy of Krishna, that we have gotten the chance to hear Bhagavatam systematically. So we should take the benefit of it and be very serious about it. Okay. Any other input? Gopal Gatu Prabhu, you have been from the very beginning. Do you have any input?
The phase I like the Prabhu, but when there is some gap, I think I'm missing what's happening before because I am not reading. But I think I should also start reading more often so that I do not lose the connectivity. Otherwise, the phase with which you are going is the good, Prabhu.
Atharan Prabhu, you would like to share something? You have also, I know you are very serious sadhaka.
No,
Any
Prabhu,
advice?
I think we had a little gap in between, so that's
Yeah, the gap
interrupted.
thing, because of the festival, my health, and so many things
Yeah.
going on. But yeah,
But
recently we had some gap. I agree with you,
yeah,
Prabhuji.
but I think it's good.
Yeah, I know you like releasing Bhagavatam. So, I'll not be in rush. Is it okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Great.
no need to be in rush. If you get into the rush, then you'll say that, oh, I finished everything, but ultimately, we did
No,
not get much.
I think you know from the beginning that our goal was not to get certificate or finish quickly. I think our goal is to learn something which we can apply practically in our lives. So I think that's the important thing.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. You are a great devotee. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Santa Mataji, you have something that you would like to talk?
Yes, Prabhu. I messaged you with the lecture. I will start reading, Prabhu. That in that way, it's helpful for me. So I need to start. I'll start, Prabhu, from this chapter onwards.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. So we'll continue the way we were doing. Any important theme that come in our discussion, I'll emphasize that. I will focus a little bit more on that. So first chapter, questions by Vidura. So in this chapter, there are 45 verses. And the chapter begins by Vidura's renunciation and Maharaj Parikshit questions. So Maharaj Parikshit is talking to Sukadeva Goswami. And as you know, all of this story is narrated by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So he talks about how renounced Vidura was. And then what are the circumstances that Vidura had to leave Hastinapur? So one request, one thing that I would say is that in the Bhagavatam, you would see two ways approach. So one approach is that somebody may start not as a pure devotee, but a story will lead that person to become pure devotee. An example is Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj was prince, and then the story begins how his mother Shuniti asked him to go find the cause of why he, Dhruva, was not born as son of Suniti. Suniti or Suruchi? Suruchi, Janeti. So you'll see that he was not a pure devotee, but the story leads towards making him a pure devotee. Or you will see somebody is already pure devotee. And then a story will lead that person to meet another pure devotee. And then they will talk. And then the nectar will come from their mouths. Teaching will come from their mouth. So you will see both way. Starting from the pure devotee, then going and meeting with a pure devotee. Like in the case of Kapila and Mother Devavati, Mother Devavati was not a pure devotee in the beginning. Lord Kapil is Lord himself. But that conversation that happened ultimately made Mother Devavati pure devotee. So that's how we have to also see that at least myself, I'm not a pure devotee. I didn't start as pure devotee. I start, or even today, I'm not there. But the purpose of studying Bhagavatam is that it should transform, it should change me slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, take me to the higher stage. Also, it's very, very important that we don't be too critical of the realization that's coming from devotee. It's very, very important. First, since we are starting this chapter, I wanted to give you some basic understanding. First, we don't hear from everybody. You have to be very careful who you are hearing to. You don't hear everybody. Okay. But if you decide to hear somebody, then you hear. That's the important point. Now you decide to hear somebody and still do things the way you think is good. That's not how we will transform into pure devotee. That's not the process. So, Parikshit Maharaj and Sukdev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj is really hearing, and his hearing is so powerful that 7 days he didn't eat, did not drink, did not sleep, did not get distracted. Okay. But in the beginning, he had to choose who he wants to hear from. Okay, I'll hear from Parikshit Maharaj. I'll hear from Sukdev Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj said, I have to hear from Sukdev Goswami. And when he started hearing, he heard. So it's very, very, very important. Very, very important as a sadhaka. If you want to be real, true devotee, you know, you define these things very nicely. Very, very nicely. Sometimes someone will understand, sometimes will not understand. Leave it on Krishna. My dear Lord, my life is only for short time. I'm like a bubble, So let me be your, servant. And with that, everything else I'll try to adjust. But if I could not adjust, please help me. That's the mood of a devotee. So our goal is to transform. Okay, here. And this is what we are going to see. Vidura was already pure devotee. Pure devotee. But when he met Uddha, he's hearing. You will see that. He's hearing. He's appreciating. So appreciation also comes when you are elevated in Krishna consciousness. You can find somebody's elevation only when you are elevated. If you find somebody is not elevated in Krishna consciousness, that means you are not understanding their mood. You are not there to see how Vaisnava, Kriya Mudra, Bhujana Bhuja. It's not easy, ordinary. It's not ordinary person. It's not the dealing of an ordinary person. Vaisnava is acting as per the realization that he or she has from their sadhana bhakti. So there is transformation. Now you cannot drag that person down and say that he's not acting as ordinary living entity. This, that. You know, maybe not. So Vidura, when hearing Uddhav Maharaj, is very carefully hearing. And when he is hearing Maitreya in this picture says here, see how Vidura folded hand, please, although he's already pure devotee, please tell me Harikatha, you know. And then Maitreya Muni is telling. Maitreya Muni is god brother of Vyasdev. So in one sense, he is senior to Vidura. So hearing should transform. So we have to proceed towards pure devotion. And as we are trying to proceed, the goal is we start Gunibhuta Bhakti, where our devotion is mixed up with karma, jnana, yoga, and all of that thing. There is some bhakti, but it is mixed up, Gunibhuta Bhakti. That's also better because there is some devotion. Higher than that is Pradhanibhuta Bhakti, and prominently there is bhakti, but there are some tinge of jnana, karma, and other limbs, Astanga Yoga, and all of that. Finally, Kaivalya Bhakti, unalloyed devotion. So, if we are at the Gunibhuta Bhakti, you have no right to criticize somebody who is at the Pradhanibhuta Bhakti, or you would not understand their position. Or if somebody is at Pradhanibhuta Bhakti, you have no right. You should not be short mouth, to criticize somebody who is at the Kaivalya Bhakti. Okay, but all of these appears to have some devotion. All of them, are in one sense, it's a devotee. But Kaivalya Bhakta has a different status, different way of dealing with Krishna versus Pradhanibhuta Bhakti versus Gunibhuta Bhakti. Our goal is Gyan Karma Dhyanavritam. This all Gyan and Karma that is part of the devotion that should be given out, should be going. That's transformation. If we stay wherever we are, then it's not good. Okay, so that's the basically context we are getting into. Vidura, although he's a pure devotee, in this case, he didn't start Gunibhuta Bhakti or Pradhanibhuta Bhakti or somebody Karma Kanda, Karma Yogi, nothing like that. He's already on the stage of Kaivalya Bhakti. But he is going and talking to Maitreya Muni, who is another, pure devotee, and they are hearing. Krishna says that Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanvan Mam Parpadyante Vasudevam Sarvamiti Shamhatmana Sadurlava. This is not something that we just hear from one ear and let it go from another ear. It's not like that. Why? Krishna does say that Samahatmana, that Mahanatma is Durlava, Sudurlava, is going to be rare. So you have to also understand that it's not very easy to come to the stage of unalloyed devotion. A person who is doing something is better than a person who is doing nothing. Okay, a person who is doing something, out of that, someone who are more focused are much better than somebody who is doing something. And out of all who are more focused, serious sadhaka, the one who are chesty is even better. Chastity doesn't come unless and until you have firm faith. Okay, you cannot mimic chastity. Okay, Mirabai said, "Mere to girdhar gopal dusro na koi." It's not something that you can mimic. Chastity comes once you have a relationship, once you have faith. So that is the progression. Okay, we have to be very chesty for Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. And that you cannot mimic, that you cannot pretend to have. It will automatically come. Once you get to that stage, once you realize that ultimately, it's all Krishna. Krishna and his energies. Swayam Rupi is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Okay. Once you have faith in the Swamrup, the Lord Himself is Sri Krishna, then all of this chastity comes. So we have to be like that. So Vidura is very chasty devotee. Maitreya is very chasty devotee. Uddhav is very chasty. Okay. So their communication you would see is about devotion and about Krishna. They're talking about devotion. They will not talk anything else. They'll give the context to prove that supreme bhakti is superior. And then they will talk about supreme personality of Godhead. So one thing you will see is that pure devotee has chastity. Lord Brahma, in the previous canto, we saw that he has power. He has really, when he's really been empowered, very powerful person. But when Narad Muni approached him and asked him, "My dear Lord, who has more power than Lord Brahma in this material universe? Tell me." Nobody. We have tinge, drop, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, temporary for short time. The most powerful person in this universe is Lord Brahma. 100 years and see his kalpa and vikalpa and all of that. How long he lives? Trillion years he lives. And he has all the power. But when Narad Muni reached to him, he said, "I thought that you were supreme personality of Godhead. You are the creator." And he said, foolish things like that. This is his word. Somebody who does not have understanding, they think like that. But I am only manipulator. I manipulate. The real creator is supreme personality of Godhead. So we all are instrument. Whatever the status, whatever capacity we are serving, to what is supreme personality of Godhead, they will let things happen through you. So you be very happy, very, very happy. "My dear Lord, you have chosen me for this service. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll be at your feet." Because you would like, it's your decision, my dear Lord. You have decided that I should serve you. I'm serving to my fullest. And tomorrow, if I don't serve, this is your decision, my dear Lord. I'll do something else for you. So chastity, Lord Brahma is showing it. He says that, and then he spoke this Chatusloki verse. He says that "Evameva asameva agre," in the beginning or at the end or even at the present time, there is nothing. Lord Brahma is saying, which was coming from Lord Vishnu, that it is Lord in the beginning and so that type of faith will help you get through all of these weeds, all that small weeds that we have here and there that is distracting us, a small thing that's lingering us. If faith is formed in Shastra, in their teaching, then these small deviations that we have will go away. So I want to talk about it. It's very important. We are getting into a powerful context. Vidura is way here, way up here, way up here. Okay, he's not distracted by all those small distractions. He's not distracted by what uh, Dhritarashtra is thinking, or Duryodhana is thinking, or Yudhishthira is thinking. He's way beyond. He's seeing Krishna there. Oh, Krishna will take care of everything. He's there. He's way up here. So when we say Vidura, and Vidura was insulted by Duryodhana, okay, but that didn't affect Duryodhana. So as a devotee, we have to try to be way up here, see who the Vidura is and what he's, inquiring. What is going on between Vidura and Uddhava, which is part of the Uddhava Gita, which will come in 11th canto. Now here, who is Maitreya Muni? They're way up here. So it's very, very important that when we are going to reach, when we are going to approach their communication, we know who are these people. So Vidura left. He was insulted. Who insulted him? Duryodhana. Now who Duryodhana is? That's why I told you all this whole story. That Duryodhana can insult Vidur. Vidur would be not impacted by it. He's Shadaka. He says, "Okay, thank you so much." And he left. And then he's wondering what he decided to do. Go holy places and meet saintly person. That's the Vidura. That type of decision doesn't come very easily. If a elevated person can make that decision. Okay, so I'm no longer part of Hastinapur. I'll go and wander, see the holy places, and talk to saintly person. So he first met Uddhav, and then he's inquiring the Uddhav about the welfare of Yadu and Kuru. So he's asking that Krishna has been out for so long, how the Yadus are doing, and I have been out, how Kauravas are doing. So he's asking uh, about Yadus and Kuru, and then as a pure devotee, you can say here, he is now requesting Uddhav, you are so exalted person. Can you please little bit teach me about Krishna? That Bidur, Bidur Ghar, Shak Khayo. There is song, right? Krishna, without invitation, without invitation, Duryodhana has invited and made opulent feast, grand preparation. Krishna did not go there. He went to Vidura house without invitation, and what he ate? Peel of a banana. Right? So do you think that he doesn't know Krishna? He knows Krishna. He knows Krishna. But then he's requesting, can you please tell me more about Krishna? So that is the mood of a pure devotee. They are always willing to do something, for Krishna. And that comes only Gyan Karmana Vritam. And one is free from this Jnana and karma. Every morning we chant na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavita va jagdish kame mam janmani janmani ishware bhavatat. Every morning we are chanting. But this verse is pinnacle. It's talking about pure devotion. So we all are on that journey. And this conversation that we are going to proceed to will help us elevate on our journey. So Sukdev Goswami said, after renouncing his prosperous home, Vidura, he entered the forest, the great devotee, Vidura, and asked this question of his grace, Maitreya Rishi. What else is there to say about the residential house of the Pandavas? Sri Krishna, the Lord of everything, acted as your minister. So Sukadeva Goswami is talking. He used to enter that house as if it were his own, and he did not take any care of Duryodhana's house. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying that what is the fortune of these Pandavas? Krishna stayed with them. He did everything. He acted very friendly. Gopis. How fortune, they are. The king asked Sukadeva Goswami. So now Parikshit Maharaj is asking, Raja Vacha, Kutra Chatra Bhagavataha Maitrenasha Sangamaha Kadava Shaha Samvada Etad Vurnaya Na Prabhu. The king asked Sukadeva Goswami, where and when did the meeting and discussion took place between Vidura and Maitreya? So Sukadeva Goswami is being asked by Maharaj Parikshit where this meeting happened. Kindly, Prabhu, here. Etad Varanya na Prabhu. Varanya means describe, explain. Na Prabhu, oh my master. Maharaj Parikshit is saying to Sukadeva Goswami, please describe where this meeting happened. Saint Vidura was a great and pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his questions to his grace Rishi Maitreya must have been very purposeful on the highest level and approved by learned circle. So now you would say Maharaj Parikshit has only 7 days. Why he's not only talking about Krishna Katha? Why he is asking what Vidura and Maitreya talked? Here the answer is given. Maharaj Parikshit knew that this two exalted personality will talk nothing, but they will talk about Krishna. That's why when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, all the narrations, all the pastime, everything that we talk, it's pastime of Krishna. Ultimately, it's pastime of Krishna, which was and finally take us to the 10th canto. So Maharaj Parikshit is saying that Vidura is a great and pure devotee. So his questions that he will be asking to Maitreya must be very purposeful. So the 7 days is left, not much time left. He's saying that their conversation must be purposeful. For what purpose? When I leave this body, I leave this body as a pure devotee. It will help me enhance my love for Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Sri Sutta Goswami said, the great says Sukdev Goswami was highly experienced. So now Shuta, Sukdev, you know that we have talked narration after narration after narration. So Sukdev Goswami is talking to the, Shuta Goswami is talking to the assembly and citing the conversation that happens between Sukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And there in that conversation, they are talking about Vidura and Maitreya. So that, I have told you before that you will see in the Bhagavatam. So don't get confused. You know that why suddenly Sutta Goswami is coming here, because Sutta Goswami is talking. The great says Sukdev Goswami, now Sutta Goswami is saying, was highly experienced and was pleased with the king. Thus, being questioned by the king, he said to him, please hear the topics attentively. So one thing is very important here, that Sukdev Goswami was very pleased. My dear devotee, my humble request, I'm begging you, I'm telling you, if you can understand this concept, your life will be very, very meaningful. You cannot snitch your devotion by yourself. You cannot. Devotion for Krishna will come from devotee. In the Guru Shastra, Prasade Paye, Bhakti Lata Bij. This Bhakti Lata Bij will come Krishna and Sadhu's devotion. If Krishna will give, then you are Kripa Siddhi. Otherwise, mostly Sadhaka who are on the path of sadhana, they will impart. And they will impart you some bhakti. That bhakti might be in the stage of Guni Bhuta Bhakti, Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. But, karma doesn't, karma yoga can turn into Gyan Yoga, can lead to Gyan Yoga. Niskam Karma Yoga can lead to Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga can lead to Ashtanga Yoga, but nothing leads to pure devotion. When we are talking about the ladder, okay, pure devotion is not reached by your severe tapasya or Ashtanga Yoga or renounce. No. Devotion, some devotion is there, but still there will be some tinge of Gyan and Karma. Unless and until pure devotee of Lord become merciful on him. I said, okay, hug, okay. So it's very, very important that we please pure devotee. If you are caring for your devotion, please somebody, I'm so thankful. Now I'm praying, my dear Lord, to award you pure devotion. They will always bless, give you good thing. I pray. So that's what here you see. What Sutta Goswami is saying. He's saying that Sukdev Goswami was very pleased with Parikshit Maharaj. Sukdev Goswami is pure devotee. Now he has become pure devotee by the mercy of Vyasdev. And now he is very pleased with Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj has a bright future, because this association will lead Parikshit Maharaj become a pure devotee. So he is saying that Sutta Goswami is saying, Sutta Goswami is very happy by Parikshit Maharaj. So what Sutta Goswami is saying, King Dhritarashtra, the story, was blind under the influence of impious desire to nourish his dishonest sons. And thus he set fire, Lakshagira, fire that we say, to burn his fatherless nephews, the Pandavas. The king did not forbid his son Dusasana. So all of this narration that we have heard is coming. Abominable actions of grabbing and hair of Draupadi, all this story is coming. Yudhishthira, who was born without any enemy, was unfairly defeated in gambling, but because he had, so this whole narration that we hear in Bhagavatam is coming. Lord Krishna was sent by Arjuna into the assembly as a spiritual master of the whole world, and although his words were heard by some as pure nectar, it was not so for the others who were completely bereft of the last fathering of the. So this entire, Vidya was invited by his elder brother for consultation. He entered the house and gave instructions. So you can read that. Vidra said, "You must now return the legitimate share to Yudhishthira." So you know that Vidra is consulting, right? Vidra is giving, consoling. Vidra is giving good advice to uh, Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra didn't hear that good advice. And then finally, he spoke ill word to Vidra and asked him this ill word that was spoken by uh, Duryodhana was like arrows piercing his heart. He said that, please leave this kingdom. So we have, gone through all of this story from verse number 17. We'll quickly try to go through this chapter next week. So with that, I think we are over the time. I would like to pause here and I'll see you all next Saturday. Hare Krishna, we would need to start reading with your lecture to follow, take complete benefit. Hare Krishna. Mataji is saying.
Prabhu, quick question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
This Duryodhana is insulting, and there are a lot of people there. No one is objecting. I think those we are hearing, but at least no one is trying to say anything to him at all.
To
Duryodhana.
Mataji, Duryodhana was counseled by so many people. In fact, do you know that once Krishna went to his assembly as a messenger, Dut, he said they captured him. Do you know the past time? And then Krishna showed his Vishwarupa. He said, come on, you cannot capture me. Do you know that?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, so he was basically blind, in one sense, spiritually blind. He was counseled, from his childhood. Bhishma was counseling him that, hey, this person is a supreme personality of Godhead. Pandavas are righteous people. So he was being counseled. But with all of the counseling, the envy that he had towards Pandava keep on growing as he became older and older. And Vidura, in fact, was counseling him. Vidura went to counsel him and tell him that how he should be doing. But, it was backfired. So you are right. Many people was approaching him and telling him. Unfortunately, he was not listening. And if he doesn't listen, what do you go?
Yeah, because he is the king and everyone has to follow at the final. And anyway, Dhritarashtra is not saying anything because of that son Vachalya, right? So that's where
Yeah,
that's.
Dhritarashtra was, we were very right, Mataji. Dhritarashtra was in very confused stage, He was not able to really decide what he has to do. He was his situation is very pathetic, right? I mean, he was one side very affectionate towards Pandava. But when he looked at his son, his affection subdues. You know what? It's better if my son is king, because officially I was supposed to be the king, but I got blind. Then Pandava uh, became the king. So he was kind of, justifying his position all the time because he has attachment towards his son. So the last position was, if you really study Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahabharata, you would see that he was not too bad, not too good, in the middle. Sometimes this side, sometimes that side. He was not sure about his position. Finally, he would lean towards his sons, but he would appreciate something good coming towards him. He did appreciate Vidura. That's when Vidura went back, he was listening. Oh, this is learned man. Vidura finally asked him leave. So yes, complex situation, but ultimately Krishna is there. Krishna fixed the
They're
problem at the
not
end.
able to.
Yeah, he tried. Krishna, it's not like the Krishna is not able to, but it's pastime. Krishna is Lila Sakti also. Krishna, at the end of the day, if you look at this whole thing, Krishna crafted this whole story so that he can talk Bhagavad Gita. He can give the pure teaching of Gita for the mankind. Sakalena Mahata Yoganasta Prantapah, says the Bhagavad Gita. That with due course of time, this teaching has been lost. So now this teaching has to be re-established. So Sarva Karan Karanam, at the end of the day, cause of all the causes, nothing happens unless until Krishna sanction it. If God, we normally say that man proposes, man disposes, right? Man proposes, God disposes. That's what we say. Just like that. So your desire is not purified. So Dhritarashtra's desire was not purified. He wanted to be king. So Krishna said, okay, things will be manifested around you that it will nourish your desire. But at the end of the day, when they came to the battlefield, you know, things were fixed. So yeah, somehow or other, Dhritarashtra would not hear. Duryodhana would not hear all this good counseling. There are a lot of good people. Dronacharya were there, so learned, node of the Vedic teaching. Vismitama was there. Mahajan, Krishna himself was there. Vidura is there. So it's not like that they were lagging great personality, but still, you know, they decided to do that. They chose that. Now, do we have devotee living in St. Louis? Yes. But do we have atheists living in the St. Louis too? Yes. They haven't met. Even if they will meet, they cannot convince each other. So it's like that. Prakriti kriya manani gune karmani sarvas. Oh my dear, this Prakriti is acting on behalf of the guna. Thank you for asking. Thank you for your question. So we'd like to adjourn here. I'll see you all next Saturday. This is our time. Please keep on coming. And sorry for some of the interruption that happened because of the festivity and all of that, but we'll try to keep it regular. वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।